but soon he will learn manners. I will torture his body so that his soul learns to be humble.
Okay, he know we just talking here, right? I mean, we just getting people interested in...
Rage Against the Machine!
Recording on the podcast.
Wow. So Brett.
Yes, sir.
What have you seen the new Guardians?
I haven't yet.
Okay, cool.
Guardians are awesome.
The better half is still in school.
Okay,
but as I was
understood.
telling good brother JK, and as soon as school is out, and sometime around this time of me becoming another year older that we're not talking about, I'm thinking I'm going to go again on a Saturday, and if we'd all like to go, I'm down. But yeah, I would love to go and catch up.
So it's part of the Guardians is now part of the backlog, right?
Yes, and we've also decided that we're gonna go and see Wonder Woman just so we can clown.
And we might even do a smelling salts about it.
You guys you don't think that Wonder Woman's going to be like the first success?
No, we think it's gonna be Batman, Superman all over again.
I have yet to see an ad. I should see bus wraps. I think the marketing's nowhere. And then when I read about them like reshooting Justice League and they brought in Joss Whedon, oh my God, where there's smoke, there's fire. They're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, they had to bring in Joss Whedon because, as you know, Zack Snyder had to take like a break because, his family had since had a tragedy. But I do see what you're saying in terms of like Wonder Woman. I just have high hopes for
And tragedy aside, he makes terrible movies. Okay? Like, I'm not trying to make that. I'm not trying to make a pot shot at all. I'm very sensitive.
But
if we were going to put a scorecard of superhero movies, he leads the league in failure.
He does amazing visuals.
Damn, that's like
story.
Listening to Chris Broussard on Fox Sports talk about somebody's plus minus in basketball. Was like, do you realize this guy is at a net minus 15? Right, he's on the court.
Yeah.
Right, that's how bad that is.
And Ja hit the nail on the head, like with Snyder, right? Like you've tried this so many times and have failed, right? So let's really go there.
By the way,
Watchmen, the story is there. How do you screw up Watchmen?
By the way, I just want to point this one thing out since I mentioned Chris Broussard. He is by far the worst voice on television.
Oh, I don't know. He has competition.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about voice.
I know where you're going to try to bait me. Don't you dare do it. I ain't starting no rap beef on this podcast. I will not talk about that person. But
Chris Broussard has to be the worst. The worst
voice on television.
Voice on television.
Over John Anik?
Have you ever heard of somebody named Mark Jackson?
Definitely work.
Wait, what is happening here? Wait. So hold up.
Over John Anik?
You don't like John Anik as like kind of like
John Anik is just a bad broadcaster, but his voice is not bad.
Okay.
Chris Broussard sounds like mice scratching their nails on a chalkboard.
I can't really complain because I was listening to Steve-O on the Joe Rogan Experience, and I even have to admit that I sound
the powers
like
that be at Fox Sports, if you are listening to this, there is a gentleman, by the way, there's the gentleman by the name of Jamil Kyle Akins, PhD, who would kindly and gladly take Chris Broussard's spot. And my voice is actually
for a small fee
of $250,000 per year.
That is a small
fee. Payable to the Cage Against the Machine Corporation.
That is a small fee. We're going to be upping that up.
Ja got those Fox Connects.
Why do I have the Fox Connects?
No, Ja got those Fox Connects.
Why do I have the Fox Connects?
Then those his boys.
Why are they my boys? No, DeShawn, you have the mic today, so why are they my boys? I'd just love to know that.
Didn't you work at Fox?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought she was one of those guys.
National Geographic?
Oh, okay.
It's like the opposite of Fox.
Okay, look. Let me explain. Let me explain. So remember, you're talking to Double D, right? He don't read.
Yes, he does. There's video today. There's books up on the shelf, okay?
And there's bullet holes. That should tell you something. Like, he don't read.
Right below the books, no less.
Right, he can't tell the difference between Fox and National Geographic.
He's like,
well,
the two.
Okay, but
these guys don't understand life.
One's got basketball and one's got lions eating each other. I mean,
but hold up. But DeShawn was trying. So cheers on that.
Deeply.
Yeah. So today you're here with Cage Against the Machine. We're talking about UFC 212. Can you believe it's like the 212?
Yeah.
Famous area code. And then also,
Where is that area code? I know, but just help people out.
New York.
it's
big
the New
city of
York.
dreams.
It's the New York area code that if you have that number,
You're old school.
You are old
It's
school.
the
old.
212 is the 415 of New York City.
Oh, interesting.
415 is the 202 of SF. And it
Yeah.
goes round and round and round and round and round and round.
No, notice how Ja just had to get Chocolate City.
A little bit in
shot,
there.
A shout out to Chocolate City.
You have to.
And also shout out to the main event on this card, which is Jose Aldo versus Max Blessed Holloway.
And everybody, let me say this straight out. Stop saying Jose. That is not the man's name. It is Jose.
I just said Jose Aldo.
No, I just
Not
wanted
you.
to say that for the
Just
people. I'm
said
not
Jose.
talking
For
about
the
you.
people.
Good doctor. Look, his
For the
mama
people.
named him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay. We should
it's
also
Jose.
mention it is
His mama named him Jose.
the featherweight champion, Jose Aldo,
The
versus
greatest 145 of all time.
versus the interim
Oh,
featherweight champion, straight out of Hawaii, Max Holloway.
Yes.
Seem fair?
Yeah. No, this is to be honest, I am
Shout
looking,
out to blessed Holloway's son who just got his yellow belt in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Yeah, I am looking forward to this fight. And leading up, you know how we do, leading up the early prelims, we have Marco Psycho Beltran
that's original.
versus Davison Figueiredo.
The Shadow.
So this is what is this? This is a flyweight fight. It's coming in the early prelims. I'm gonna be at the bar with Brett Sweet, with DeShawn Davis, and we're gonna be watching
And
this.
Dr. J.K. Atkins.
And
Will
Dr.
not be in
J.K.
attendance.
Atkins will unfortunately not be there.
Still
Will
sour.
not be in attendance.
Yeah.
By the way, since we brought that up,
Still sour.
Oh,
since
shit.
we brought
Still,
that up,
Still fussy.
I am going to make sure that this is heard on this podcast.
Great.
And this is
great.
not
Okay.
the opinion of Cage Against the Machine.
Okay.
This
Or
is
any
the
of its
opinion
affiliates.
Yeah.
of Dr. Jamil Ka'il Akins only.
Okay.
Superman's younger cousin.
Never will you
Ever.
tell me how and when I can spend my money. Nor will you disrespect me straight out in my face like that again.
Who's doing that?
It's a very long story.
It's a long story.
Wait, when have I ever done that?
no, he's
no.
he's,
Again, not me.
No.
It's like
Hey, DeShawn,
not,
can
not
I point
everything
out,
is about me.
Can I point out that the two people who get kicked out of MMA bars are sitting together right now?
Yes, I
Okay,
saw
just-
that.
That's,
Yeah. Wait. Again, not about me.
No,
no, it's not about you.
not about you.
Not about you.
So,
So what are you talking about?
Just a quick.
What happened?
Just a quick reminder that we probably don't want to do that.
Yeah, probably just we'll take that off air.
Okay,
Not
let's
that
take it
deep.
off air. Let's go back to Marco Psycho Beltran fighting out of Mexico and Davison Figueiredo. I am guaranteeing that is his name. So with this fight, I only know Marco Beltran.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I see this being like a finish. I'm gonna go and say that, like, look, if you're gonna be late to one, this might be the one you want to be late to. But that's just me talking out loud. I think it's probably gonna go to decision. Beltran. Let's start with the Reverend Good Brett Sweet.
Generally, the people who don't have a picture, and by the way, Ari, Emmanuel, for a small nominal fee of $1.7 million, we can, at Cage Against the Machine, get your WordPress site to work and upload these pictures. Generally, experience and statistics shows me when you don't have a picture, you end up getting finished in the second round.
Ooh, and I bet we can get data on that.
Yes, we
we
can. That's what we do. So I'm going to go with Marco Beltran because he is psycho and he has little whales on his chest.
Dr. J.K. Atkins, who do you have on this fight?
well, I will put it this way. Figueiredo has only gone to decision in his career once.
So everyone, including myself, is going to be counting this person down, and you're saying to go the
And
other
I'm
way?
saying that he is going to knock out Beltran in the first round.
Whoa.
And also call on the round. Wow. So I guess our picks are in for the first early prelims. Next up,
Watch out for the body kicks, by the way.
body kicks on this one. So even like saying like when is it gonna happen? So we have
Right.
Luan Tarzan Chagas versus Jim Judo. I bet you it's Judo Jim. If it's not Judo Jim, then he should flip that. Judo Jim Wallhead. So you guys know how I am with my prejudice. I like to wear it on my sleeve. I don't believe that people from England can fight. I'm going to go ahead and say that Luan Tarzan Chagas by knockout because people from England can't fight. Good doctor, let's go to you first on this one. Who do you have this? I'm going to say first round.
Generally, people who are more tatted than I am will get my pick. However, not in this one. Luan, the one thing that you will see from Luan is you are going to see him use his jab and his footwork to try to get inside to take Wallhead down. The question is, will Wallhead be able to get back up once he's taken down? I do believe that Wallhead has never actually been held down, though.
Because of the judo background, or like is
Yes.
it more okay?
I don't think he's ever been held down. So the question is
He's
going to
big
be,
for 170.
the question is going to be whether or not this is a stand-up fight. Because if this is a stand-up fight, it's pretty much a stalemate. Neither one of these guys can strike worth a damn. So
what are you saying? You're saying like
this
he
is a
feels
grappler versus grappler fight. The question is, which discipline is going to win? Is it going to be jiu-jitsu or judo?
They both have 100% takedown defense.
So whoever gets that first takedown, JK, who do you have on this? Who are you going to go with?
I am going to take Tarzan reluctantly, but I actually do not believe that this fight will be a finish. I believe this will be a decision.
Brett Sweet.
I think it's gonna be a decision as well. I think it will be Wallhead, and which is crazy to say because it's in Brazil, so that shouldn't happen. But I'm only picking him because his chest looks like the map from Lord of the Rings. And I can't...
Shots fired at the tattoo artist.
And I can't really, in this day and age, given everything that we've gone through in this sport, understand why somebody from Brazil would name themselves Tarzan.
Yeah, you know,
There's that.
It probably wasn't his decision.
No. Again, he didn't hire the right branding agent. For $1.9 million.
We can fix these problems.
We can fix these problems. But
Yeah,
yeah,
these
no,
are
I felt
fixable.
like, yeah. Although he does have that like Antonio Banderas thing going on. Remember when he made that terrible assassin movie with Lucy Liu?
Antonio Banderas?
Yeah.
I remember he made an Assassins movie. Was Lucy Liu in that?
He made more than one terrible assassin movie. I just realized. One was with Sly Stallone and the other one was with Lucy Liu.
Gotcha.
They're both terrible. And that's what he looks like right now.
Lucky Number 11, was he in that? No.
No, he
No,
wasn't.
'cause
Lucky
that was
Number
a good
7
movie.
was great.
That was a
Who
great
was-
movie.
Who was it? Well, then
Who was
which
in
one
it?
are you talking about?
It was like,
It was something with Antonio Banderas.
and Lucy Liu. It was like Axel and Lim or something. It was like they thought they were clever. It wasn't.
I kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think it will be Wallhead by decision because he'll get multiple slams.
Gotcha.
This is going to be a stalemate. They're both expert grapplers.
Yeah.
So I literally don't know how one is going to beat the other.
And I mean, I've been looking forward to like seeing the grappling fights, and because it kind of becomes like a bit of a chess match
Yes.
on the ground, and I can see the nuances. Next fight, we're having Vivian Sukuri Pereira versus Jamie Moyle. Now, I love watching Jamie Moyle fight. She fights with her heart on her sleeve. She presses forward. I'm going to give it to Jamie Moyle by knockout, second round. I see that happening. I know.
Do you also
That's-
see that
it's-
she's not had a knockout in her career?
I believe, yeah, but her
Tonight-
last fight, she was like pressing forward big time.
Got it.
She's
and I've
won
seen
3 of her 4 fights by decision.
Dude,
John.
I saw her last fight. She was pressing forward. I've seen Vivian Pereira fight before. I think that constant forward pressure is going to be like too much for her. That's why I'm saying second round knockout. Jamie Moyle, I'm going to be right again, just like I was with the HHIC and Andrade fight. J.K. Akins,
Shots fired.
who do you have on this fight?
You have no idea how wrong you are. It's actually because you are my friend, I can tell you this. You have no idea how wrong you are. And you're not even close. It's like you're not even in the same stratosphere.
Are you looking at the picture? Are you watching?
So
Pereira is going to knock the snot out of Moyle, and this is going to happen quickly.
do you have a round in your
I did
prediction?
say quickly, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
So
but
in the first 2.5 minutes of the first round.
first 2.5 minutes of the first
We
round.
gotta
That's
get down to the minutes.
okay.
Yeah, we're gonna add that in. Add that into
into the game.
Okay.
Like my girl Vanessa Williams said, Ja, you'll be dreaming.
So, Brett Sweet, do you have any
I have a divergence.
I
agree with JK for the simple fact that I have her in my other league that we will not talk about. But I think she will do some damage to Moyle. Moyle will put that pressure in the second round. And then in the third round, Moyle will go for a takedown and get choked out
Okay.
by Pereira.
So
Third
you're
round
saying
submission.
third round submission. Okay, so we have like a couple of different opinions here.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is going to wrap up the early prelims. Leading into the Fox Sports 1 prelims, we have Yuri Alcantara, Maharo Alcantara versus Brian Kelleher. Do you remember that last fight where Yuri Alcantara was fighting? What's that guy who was he had that Cool Hand Luke?
Yeah.
He's fighting Cool Hand Luke, right?
Right.
And he was losing, and then
Tisk.
Do you remember that? And then Cool Hand Luke like was stupid and like did like that one thing to get like a point taken away. It's so weird, right?
Yeah.
But then Yuri Alcantara like held his head together and then got the submission.
How, Sway? How?
Houseway.
Do you know what I mean? But it's like he got it though. So I'm a fan of this guy now. He held his head. Not gonna go against him. Don't know much about Brian Keller. I'm gonna go with Yuri Alcantara by submission because that was amazing. After getting punched in the face, he found one, and he did it in the second round last time. I'm gonna say second round this time. Brett Sweet, who do you have?
Yuri Alcantara, decision for 2 reasons. He comes from,
The Patriots of MMA.
and also let's talk about this little part in the haircut. Can we take a moment? They say he's crazy. He really don't
I hate you.
care.
I hate you.
That's his prerogative.
Wow. The self-proclaimed king of R&B. They say I'm nasty.
But I don't give a damn. Do you ever see the video where he's dancing on stage and he drops the cocaine? And does a dance move to
They
pick it back
don't
up?
understand me. I really don't know the deal.
He had to get a little cameo in there, right?
Right.
Because that was the era.
Wow.
Give credit due. So I think
I really
Yuri-
just had a Robbie Brown flashback just now.
Yeah. So who do you have on this one?
Oh gosh, I've seen Keller fight, and I'm trying to figure out a way for Keller to be able to win this. I do think this is going to be yet another fight in which the grappling is going to cancel one another out.
wrestling versus jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm trying to find a reason to pick Keller. I can't.
No.
I want to, but I can't. But I also don't really trust Alcantara to be able to knock out Brian Keller.
No, he don't have that.
So then you're saying it sounds like
Alcantara
by decision?
I am gonna take him by a split decision.
It's gonna be like that type of fight.
Yes.
Where it's like this was such a stalemate that they decided to like make it a split decision.
Basically.
So
Might be a good time to get a taco.
Big shout out to the Brazilian judges who are actually turning the corner on being able to actually judge.
Right.
Interesting,
And,
interesting.
and have become less nationalistic.
Not saying any
Surprising.
names. New York State.
So, that's interesting for that
And
fight.
Texas.
I say next fight, we have
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Johnny Eduardo versus Matthew Lopez.
So the question I have for three people in this room,
yes.
why is Cisco fighting his family rather than focusing on helping save
big
Iris?
time. No, big time. Yeah. No, I see it. You're saying Matthew Lopez looks a ton like the guy that plays Cisco. What's his name? Carlos Valdez.
Yeah,
On
and Johnny
Arrow, in the
Eduardo.
Arrowverse. Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Eduardo looks like his brother who died, Reverb or whatever, after a really bad meth.
I was going to say he looked like he's on drugs.
No, this guy looks.
Drugs!
This guy looks. Matthew Lopez looks just like Cisco. It's crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick him because, Reverb versus his brother, he always wins. So
Right.
I'm gonna go Matthew Lopez by decision. You've heard my reasoning as to why.
He also looks like that nervous guy at karaoke who when
Yeah.
he gets up there, you're like, well, this is going to be terrible. And then he completely can,
And he has
he
has the voice of an angel
right,
or
he's some
something.
Hamilton musical
yeah,
star. And you're like,
yeah.
I just am humiliated and we'll go outside.
Yeah, he's the voice of an angel.
Right.
So let me turn to my right to the infamous Dr. J.K. Akins. Who do you have on this?
Ladies and gentlemen, get your tacos ready.
Gotta be a stinker.
I see absolutely no excitement in this fight whatsoever. Matthew Lopez may be one of the most boring newcomers to the UFC.
Ouch.
To grace the UFC in a while. And Johnny Eduardo keeps you leaving and believing that he is going to take a step forward and then he takes 2 steps back. With that, I am going to take Eduardo to take another 2 steps back and lose this fight by a shocker 2nd round knockout.
Wow, Brett Sweet.
I mean, to JK's point, Matthew Lopez's facial expression literally right now is, I don't even know why I'm here. He literally has that facial expression. But I still think he's going to take a ton of damage through 2 rounds, and then he's going to hurt Johnny Eduardo.
His tattoo looked like it's written in marker.
Yeah. And if you believe the numbers,
Shots
my God,
fired
you're-
at the tattoo artist. What is going on here?
DeShawn, you're
which
right
one?
though.
Sharpie, though.
which one? The who?
Sharpie.
No,
Marty?
Matthew
Lopez.
Lopez looks
Nah,
like his
nah,
right
it's-
there on his
No, that's Elvish. Look at it. Get close. One ring to rule them all. If you believe in numbers, right?
That's like the only tattoo on his body.
Right.
I can't stop thinking about it now. You're right, man. That's the only tattoo on his body, and he had his kid Sharpie it on him.
Right.
First of all,
You don't even know.
First of all, that is one of the hardest tattoos to get because that means it was done with the triple needle and black ink.
And it doesn't excuse it from being ugly. Look at the other ones.
He's doing it. He did that in order to make it look like a scroll. So you know how in fantasy movies you roll out the scroll and the writing on the scroll is really bold and black? That's what the tattoo artist was trying to capture. Because you guys don't know anything about tattoos, that is why J.K. Akins is here to educate.
Well, I'm
But
glad,
you never said it wasn't ugly.
and I'm glad you're here to tell us about the bold and the black.
But you don't think this is a very ugly tattoo? I'm just saying this is a very ugly tattoo. It's horrible. Brett, do you think this is a very I can't take my eye off of it.
I mean, look at his facial expression. He's like, I don't even know why the tattoo's there.
Yeah, he's like, this is a mistake. There's going to need to be some amazing cover up that's going to happen there. I hope he wins this fight. Can take
if he tries to get that
Speaking
covered
of
up,
which- speaking of which,
Yeah, I hope
what's
he-
going on with his left leg?
What's going on with the legs, period?
Yeah, itty bitty body.
kind of look like John Jones' legs.
Yeah, John Jones legs.
It kind of does.
Well, that's what
John-
happens after a weekend of cocaine.
Well,
John Jones legs. John Jones skips legs day
Right. If you believe
every
in,
day.
every day.
we eat ribs with this one.
I don't understand how your brother could be Arthur Jones and your legs still be that skinny.
Me too. Yeah, they're like that twins
And your
movie.
little brother is Chandler Jones.
Yeah, it's so weird, right? I don't
and
get
your
it.
legs look like that.
His legs
He
look like that.
literally looks like a He-Man action figure walking on toothpicks.
Yeah. That's weird too.
He-Man.
Sorry, Brett, do you have a pick for this
And
fight?
the Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be. I mean, if you believe the numbers, then Johnny Eduardo is obviously going to win, right? If you believe such things, he's got reach, right? He's going to land more, right? And he's got a better defense. But that's just not what's going to happen. He's going to give a lot of damage to Matthew Lopez and gas out. And Matthew Lopez is going to reach into his high school experience and beat up the bully in the third round.
Third round by what?
By submission.
I agree with you because, man, if he's going to do that to his body, imagine what he's going to do to Johnny Eduardo.
Right.
Moving on to the next
Johnny
fight.
Eduardo's tattoos aren't much better.
Yeah.
Them things are actually ugly.
Yeah. So with Antonio Cara de Zapato, Carlos Jr., and Eric Zebrina Spicy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Spicely,
great. It's
right?
a fight of underachievers.
Wait, really?
Hooray.
Wait a minute.
Come on, man.
Come on.
No. You gotta get,
Hooray. Underachievers unite.
Hater.
you know something, like maybe you could like take a break from like torturing Sonic the Hedgehog to like come over to like the Dr. Wily. So like, you know, maybe I don't know. Like I'm gonna go ahead and say like Antonio Carlos Jr. Yes, I see like that he has been underachieving. But I still think he has like a chance. I still think
I'm
he
not
has a
saying
chance,
that
right?
of course he has a chance. He's fighting another underachiever.
He has a chance to get choked out.
By Eric, but Eric Spicy is like really good too.
Eric Spicy is he's the comeback king.
Underachievers unite.
How are you not going with Carlos Jr.?
You know, well, first of all, look at those eyebrows. But
I say Antonio Carlos Jr.
come
by
on,
decision.
look at his face. Look at his face. He looks like exactly what happens when you hit a turtle in Mario Brothers with a shell.
Now that's funny because I always thought Antonio Carlos Jr. kind of looked like Skeletor.
Like if you
Just look at the eyes.
Yeah, he's like a flat. No, I see what you're saying.
He auditioned for Iron Man.
I see what you're saying.
He auditioned for Iron Man.
Antonio Carlos Jr. is like Skeletor's flashback. But like, you know, so Brett, do you have a pick on this one?
Oh, Eric Spicy, third round submission. As usual, he takes tons of damage. He reverses. People sleep on him. I'm not biased or anything. It's not like he's in my league and I picked him or anything. But, you know, I'm just saying.
Sure. J.K. Akins, who do you have?
Underachievers unite.
If you keep saying that, I'm going to call you Bone Crusher.
Hey, I ain't never scared.
Oh, no.
Attention.
Underachievers.
Boy, the scandalous part of me just wants to pick a draw.
Yeah.
You can do that.
You want to pick the 0-0 of MMA?
I do, but I'm not gonna do it. I am gonna take Carlos Antonio Jr. grudgingly by a split decision.
Not begrudgingly. Grudgingly.
And that means that JK and I are united on this one, which makes me reverse my pick to Eric Spicely. So I'll say Eric Spicely on decision, just because. Next we have, like, you want to talk about like underachievers. Rafael Assunção.
That is Rafael Assunção.
Sorry, Rafael Assunção versus Marlon Moraes. You know, like, so where has Rafael been for the last 3 years? I remember I picked him in a league once and he didn't show up like all year. It's so weird. Like, you know, and I'm like, where has he been? And last couple fights, he wasn't there. I'm going Marlon Moraes on this one, man. Like, by decision.
Are you sure? Because Marlon couldn't even get his picture in on time.
Yeah, that's
he's in the sunken place. I don't know if I would, you know.
I'm going to go ahead and say Marlon Moraes by decision, and I think I'm going to be right on this. JK.
He has no reach.
Do you feel me on this?
Absolutely not. You have no idea how wrong you are. That seems to be like the theme of this podcast so far.
This series, yeah.
Cage against the right.
Yeah.
I mean, Rafael Assunção, I can tell you where he's been. He ran into a buzzsaw named TJ Dillashaw.
Right?
That's what happened. I mean, at the same time, he's also still ranked number 3 in the world. It just so happens that the 2 fighters ahead of him are that much greater than him.
Yep.
That's all it is, really.
This is going to be TJ and Dominic, right?
Yes. He is going to
When did he
run
fight
through.
TJ, by the way?
Last year.
Wait. Was it last year or was it just a little while ago?
TJ had to fight him to get back to...
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes. He is going to run through Marlon Morales.
Okay.
He's gonna run through him. He's gonna run through him like a wet paper bag. This won't even be close.
You're putting your picks in the app, right? So that we can like actually record this, and then also I can take pictures of this of how wrong you are, right?
Well, we will when we
Yeah.
can have 2 games up at the same time. But right now we have
The FS1.
yes.
Okay, so
We're in
now we're on
Stockholm.
FS1. Okay, cool. That's
Isn't
fine.
it cool that we have an app where we can put a card up about having 2 games?
Yes.
Yes,
I
I
think
saw
that is
you
cool.
looking at me. That's what I was doing. No.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Casey. Thank you for joining the chat.
Yes, welcome, Casey.
She didn't believe that Ja existed.
Ja exists, yes.
Ja was gone for so long, so she's like, yeah.
I do exist, Casey. So yeah, Brett. Who do you have on this one?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with...
Wait, are people really looking at this on this thing?
there
Are you
go.
serious?
Yeah. Say hi to everyone.
we-
Hi,
Hi.
everybody.
We told you.
No, look
Oh,
at
we're
him
on
over
this thing.
there.
Hold up.
Right.
Hey, hi, everybody. Wait,
Yeah.
we're on this thing?
Yeah.
we're on
He said we're on this thing.
We're on this thing. We're on this thing.
Smartphones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are those things?
Wait, what is this? Ja exists on this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's Casey proving that you actually exist.
You're like Santa.
You've been gone for 2 months. You know,
Wow, there are people watching us.
Well, you're not that important.
right?
Maybe the
You
Easter
know,
Bunny.
well, Casey was basically like 7 whole days, and not a word from you.
Nice. So let's go with Brett. Who do you have on this fight? Let's round off the Fox Sports.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think they gave him a welcome back Cotter fight. You know, Rafael Sancho threw him some fresh meat. I mean, the dude can't even get his reach in. You know, I'm not sure Marlon. Again, you know, sunk in place. It's not gonna happen. I think this will be quick and dirty. TKO second round. Asensio.
Yeah, and I think like rounding it with the early prelims and like the last prelims, you know, I don't think this is going to be like a total like snooze fest. But
Hoping and wishing,
hoping and wishing,
praying.
hoping
Taco
and
time.
wishing.
I mean, let's just be real about this. This fight got some sales taken out of it once Silva dropped out of it, and they didn't replace it with more Brazilian stars. There should have been some more thoughts put into this. Out of Brazil, there's plenty of talent there.
Yeah.
They didn't stack the deck. This is like a lot of fights that
What's
are
up,
out
J Dougie 89? J Dougie? J Dougie 89. All right now, J Dougie.
In the building.
there in the building.
Love it.
So, I mean, look, it's sad that there's not barbecue out front, you know, but it is taco time in some of these fights.
Gotcha.
But it's still great because, you know, I think you have to emotionally, you know, given what we just saw at 211, you can't always have these incredible fights that yank your heart. You got to have a little valleys and peaks sometimes. So this is like for the martial artists in the room, this is a rest round.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that'll wrap us up for our first act. You have been listening to Cage Against the Machine. We're talking about UFC 212. This is Jose Aldo versus Max Blessed Holloway. I'm Josh Shia.
Sweet NBA.
Dr. Jamil Kyle Akins.
We got DeShawn Davis in the room, and we will be right back.
Cage Cousins, how you doing? This is Sweet, co-founder of Cage Against the Machine. For a year or so, we've just been bringing you content, trying to show you the things that we care about when we watch fights, especially UFC fights. You probably heard us alluding to this app. I won't say that it's completely ready, but it is ready for you, and you should check it out. So, go to cageagainst.com, click on Fantasy, sign up. And one of the coolest things that we're really excited about is aside from challenging your friends at each and every UFC event, you can also really kind of put your money where your mouth is. You could challenge your friend for a beer. For example, DeShawn Davis, super producer, he made the mistake of telling me that a certain fighter was going to win. I told him it wasn't going to happen. I challenged him and he paid for my beer all night. It was wonderful. If he keeps challenging me, he's probably going to end up paying all my parking tickets. This is just a wonderful thing that we keep doing. But we don't want to be selfish. We want you to be a part of this. Again, go to cageagainst.com, click on Fantasy, sign up for the app, join the conversation. We'll see you soon.
And you're back with UFC 212. We're talking about Jose Aldo versus Max Blessed Holloway. Leading into the main card, we have Eric Silva versus versus Yancy Medeiros. Can you just say that every time I say it? We have Eric Silva versus Yancy Medeiros. Now, I swear I saw Yancy Medeiros like walking down the streets of Oakland one day.
Yes.
And I looked at him. I saw him. I thought that was Yancy Medeiros. I then said, like, you know what? I'm not going to, like, go like approach him, but I swear that was him and he wasn't walking with anyone. I should have said hi. I like Yancy Medeiros.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and say,
Scrap pack.
yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say Yancy Medeiros is going to win this fight.
Yes.
Because I do believe that Eric Silva underperforms.
Yes.
And I will go ahead and say that Yancy Medeiros wins this fight by a TKO stoppage in the second round. I know, right? So, J.K. Akins, what do you think about this fight?
Underachievers unite. Yes, yet again.
Can you say that like Bone Crusher every time? Like, underachievers.
I told you I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared.
Yeah, you were never scared.
He's really not.
Boy.
Boy.
I find myself struggling here to pick this fight because I literally don't know which way this is gonna go. The only thing that I know for sure is that some way, somehow, when the clock is running out, Eric Silva is going to drop the ball. That is the only thing that I know for sure.
But he's so young still. Like,
He doesn't need the clock to drop the ball. He'll just drop the ball before he gets to the match. Yancy Medeiros has that young scrap pack thing going on. Him and Bobby Green, when they are not injured and they can really turn it on, their volume, they can do some sort of demigod Nate Diaz, Stockton slap, kind of stuff. That I think he has the ability to do with the hands. He has the great boxing. We know the weakness of all those guys. If they leave the front leg out and you know how to kick, you could chop down the leg. I don't think that's going to happen because, again, Eric Silva relies on gimmicks, right? Just as a martial artist, anybody in here who's...
Gimmicks that continue to fail, no less.
First of all, I have to announce this to you. I don't know if you know this. Do you know the young super producer has been boxing?
wait, really?
Yeah.
Where at?
At the Secret Gym.
Oh, the Secret Gym. Okay.
Yeah.
The Secret Gym in
Yeah.
South
Yeah,
City.
he texts me ideas
Cool.
on combos and stuff, so he's getting what we're talking about. So we all know when you put your hand out like this to touch gloves, it's all fair, right? You swing at somebody when the hand's down, that's the biggest D-bag move in the game. So you never can come. I'm a big forgiving guy. I just can't come back from Eric Silva with that. That tells me so much about his character. That was your gimmick.
You know what it is? That's called desperation.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I know
Absolutely.
I have underperformed. I know I have dropped the ball continuously.
And
I know I am a continuous failure.
Stop saying I, because you might believe it. He knows.
And
He
I'm
knows
just,
that
I'm
he
just,
is an underachiever.
right. And I'm just, putting it out there.
And that whole Team X thing. It's a
I'm saying that's just his mindset.
right, and it's a disappointment. It's the last wagging tails and fumes of Black House. But no, I'm gonna say I think Yancy Medeiros will turn on the juice and knock him out in the second or the third round.
So, do we all have our picks in? Are you?
I don't necessarily have a pick. The only thing, like I said, I know for sure is that Eric Silva will find a way to fail.
Wow, you're like his disapproving like father. I don't know what it is you're doing, but I know you will find a way to fail.
You will find a way to fail.
Love that. The next fighters that I like, and I don't know why he's like second, but we have Oluwale, Holy War Angel.
Because this is the
Bam-
right time in the world to name yourself. that.
Right. Bam Gbose, Bang Bose, Bang, don't you correct me, JK. Bam Gbose versus Paulo
The G is silent.
Borrachinha. Okay. So I love Oluwale on this one.
Yeah.
And
I'm sad about the haircut.
and I like it whenever he comes out and fights. He comes and he comes punching. I'm gonna go ahead and say Oluwale Bam Gbose on second round TKO. I'm gonna turn it over to Pinky's missing half, the brain right here. Dr. J.K. Akins, who do you have on this fight?
You know doggone well I am not picking against an African. Not a snowball's chance in hell.
Excuse me, buddy. It says he's from the United States.
It says United States on
Yeah,
this.
that's
It
Ooh,
says,
Wale, right?
It says United
Yeah.
States right up there at the top. Why can't you just pick where?
He's Nigerian as hell.
Why don't we all just get along and just?
Yeah.
Bambo say, first round, knockout. Go to sleep. I'll see you when I see you.
First round, in nonetheless.
I don't think anybody's going to debate on the fact that it's a first round knockout. The question is, who will he call out after he wins? And will he say their name?
So so the middleweight division in the UFC is like one of the most interesting ones that is right now, right? So you have like a champion that's like not trying to fight, and then you have like all these like fighters underneath him that would destroy the champion. And
Or
would
you
destroy.
think.
Really?
You also thought that Luke Rockhold would destroy him.
That's true. I did think that, but I also think that Yoel will destroy the champion. I also
That's
think
possible.
that
Too bad he won't
Gegard
get there.
Mousasi would destroy the champion. That's what I think.
I'll fall asleep on that one.
Okay, I think
But
Gegard Mousasi would destroy. Robert Whitaker
Yes.
would destroy the champion.
Kiwi power.
Right? So you have like all these like, and Jacare Souza would destroy the champion.
He's not coming back.
That's four right there.
He's not- he's-
Jacare is done.
from
What? Would you smell that? Anyone hear that? What? Hear that? What's that sound?
So he's not coming back from
What's that?
the
What is that?
loss to Robert Whitaker. Is what
It's
you're
a
saying.
wrap.
Is that Bellator?
You're saying
It's
it's
a
Does anyone hear that
I-
Bellator sound?
Yeah.
I agree with that. It is a wrap for him, like in terms of like getting a shot. But I think if you put like him and Michael Bisping
No, I
in
think,
like a room together,
I think he's
I think
a
that
rap as being a top contender.
In the UFC.
Really?
Yes.
In the UFC, I'd agree.
because of the marketability, but not because of like his
no,
fighting.
I think because the way
he's
the-
done in the octagon.
I think the
You're
way.
saying that Michael Bisping could take out Jacare Souza.
Yes.
This room has turned into a crazy house. Are you
Yes.
serious?
Yes.
Okay. I'm.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Let me ask you
Jacare's
this.
chin is gone. Jacare has been hit in the face too many times.
There's that. But let me ask you this question, Ja. As long as you have been involved in martial arts, you and I have been involved in martial arts for what, 2/3 of our lives?
Since I was 6.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what is
so
that?
3/4 basically.
Yeah.
Okay. At some point, you've got to know when your limitation has when your maximum potential has been reached. And once you reach your maximum potential, what ends up happening? You begin to tail off. And not only do you begin to tail off, but it just happens suddenly.
I don't think you ever know. I don't think that. So I disagree. I see what you're saying.
Okay.
And I see the value in what you're saying, but I
Okay.
disagree on principle because you're saying it. And I'll tell you why I disagree with that. So like, basically, I have learned one thing to be certain from like all the years of doing martial arts. I've learned one thing to be like, look, this is the absolute truth. You can always get your butt kicked.
Yes.
You have a point. But
It's
I'm
the
going to come at you
only
from
truth
a
I have.
I'm going to come at you from a different angle.
Yeah.
There is one thing
is
that
also
is
martial arts.
universal in sports. One thing that is universal in sports. When you are great, all of a sudden, the greatness leaves without warning. That is the one thing that is universal in sports. It doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. It could be martial arts. It could be basketball. It could be baseball, football, whatever.
Fox hunting.
When your greatness leaves, it happens suddenly and without warning. I'm saying that's where Jacare is.
I don't think that greatness. I see that, but so I think that like because MMA is a sport, it's been classified as sport so that we can watch it. I don't think that it is of the same caliber as sports because I have to believe that some like kind of like because of all the kung fu movies I've watched, all right, I have to believe that some sort of like Pai Mei is like accessible.
Did you just really compare this to a movie?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I have
John,
to- I
I'm
have to-
gonna need you to wake the hell up.
I have to believe that there's some sort of like Pai Mei that is like accessible.
You have to believe that?
Absolutely.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Pai Mei from Kill Bill,
Yeah, that's
the one who let his new student, white woman who'd never done martial arts before, come and kill him.
Yeah, that
Just
one.
saying.
Poison him.
Are you sure you want to use that example?
Just saying.
That's the one I'm using. Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay,
using.
let's start again. The beginner white belt who's been training with him for a couple weeks poisons him and kills him. Are you sure you want to be at the Pai Mei level? Maybe
She wasn't a beginner white belt. She was like one of the assassins, and he underestimated her. And even Bill himself said that, like, you know, the one thing that getting old teaches you is what?
Anybody
the value
hear that?
of like someone like of company.
Anybody hear that in the background? That is Ja digging his grave deeper.
What, really? You guys don't feel me on this? DeShawn Davis, help me out.
I just started boxing a couple.
I always say this. You know this.
Yeah.
I always root for Dan Henderson.
Yeah.
I always root for the old guys. I love that about martial arts. That the age and the treachery and the wisdom and the technique will always beat out. I agree with that. I see that, and most times in a fight, techniques will do that.
JK does not agree.
There are just too many examples out here for you guys not to get this. I'm confused here. Okay, so Anderson Silva gets his leg broken. Randy Couture gets his teeth kicked out his mouth.
Kicked out his mouth, son.
Right?
Right?
There are just too many examples of what I'm talking about.
So did Anderson get his leg broken because he was old, or did he get it broken because he got too confident and nobody checking his leg kicks?
Could be old bones.
Randy Couture was fighting against I drink my own steroid pee.
Okay. Mr. Sweet.
Yes.
NBA.
I still agree with you that I think Jacare is no longer competitive.
What I'm saying is, when you get old, those are the things that happen.
Your bones break.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your teeth falls out.
That is the very essence.
I told you I can't.
Of what I'm talking about.
I can't hear you right now. I'm on steroids.
So what about skill? Does skill play into anything or experience?
Of course,
like that,
you have skill, but the problem is that your mind has you tricked into believing that you can still do the things that you used to.
Right.
Okay. So I do see what you're saying. Do you believe that there's like no best martial art? There's a greatest martial artist out there?
Meaning
that, like, you know, there's no like, hey, look.
John's referring to the old man on top of the hill.
Yeah,
that only happens in the movies that you've been talking about, John.
That is
not in real life.
You don't think that happens at all?
Not in real life.
That has mastered all the pressure points.
No.
Yeah,
That is a movie.
No. That happens in real life, but real life is not MMA. MMA is a sport that has points and has scoring. In real life,
But my point is that it is a sport, and like every other sport.
But it's a martial art sport,
but
though.
again, this is the problem. The
It makes it
difference
different.
between sport, as they call it in New Zealand, sport fighting and fighting. The average 18-year-old who messes with one of us in the room, we
we're
put them in
taking
the
out
hospital.
an 18-year-old.
Will
Right.
the average 18-year-old MMA fighter? Are anyone in here signing up for Conquer next week to go fight or something?
No.
We know
I've seen
better.
them. I've seen those guys.
I mean,
very nice guys.
Very
by
nice
the way.
guys.
But I've
Very
seen
nice.
them. Okay,
What's
up close and personal. No.
Let's say there's no injuries in the room. What's a good day of sparring for you guys? How many rounds?
Like a good day, 5.
5.
Maybe.
5. 2 minutes.
And they
then
do-
one
they do-
like longer one.
Right.
That would be it. Yeah.
And they do 2 of those a day, 6
Yeah.
days a week. So ultimately, we have to,
Yeah.
I mean, it's back to the BJ Penn thing. I didn't realize how much energy you have to have, right? At a certain
Yeah.
point. There's points where you know you got to keep your hands up, but your body has said, hey, Brett, you're tired.
Well, then I can't wait to hear
Yeah.
what JK has to say about this one. I believe all our picks are in for the last one. So, like,
I am so excited to see the beginning of what Vitor Belfort is calling UFC Legends. And I will give you this.
Whoa.
Yeah, I will give you this, Dana. This one was free.
so
The next one cost.
Didn't we come up with that?
We did.
Yes.
But again, like I told you, look, seeing the future, it is what it is.
So we have Vitor the Phenom Belfort.
Who now looks like
The stepdad.
exactly what he is.
Yeah. Now,
The old man.
Vitor, the stepfather.
versus Nate the Great Marquardt.
Anybody notice that Vitor's abs are gone?
He looks like you ever go to the pool at the Flamingo in Vegas? Right?
Oh!
And there's that dude.
Oh man!
There's always that dude
the
who gets
pool
out of the water.
party,
Right.
The pool party
Yeah,
on the
he's-
roof of the Aria.
He gets out of the water.
Damn.
Gives that look like,
Oh damn!
don't be looking at my daughter and you're like, why is your daughter at a pool party? Why do you have a 12-year-old in a bikini? Like,
But who's winning? Who's winning this fight? I mean, like, I actually think that like Vitor will win this fight, and I think that like they gave it to him as a. I am going to say
present.
Yes, I'm going to say like decision. I don't think he's not knocking out like Nate Marquardt. And I'm going to go ahead and say that like this is going to be Vitor by decision, and this is his swan song.
Interesting. Yeah, this is Marquardt with a first round knockout.
Ooh, and
you think it's gonna be that good?
Yeah.
You know what I'm envisioning?
What are you envisioning?
As I'm looking at the monitor and I'm looking at these two once great fighters.
Yeah.
I am seeing DeFear Harris and Kevin Ferguson Sr.
So you feel as though like this is just like an old man fight right here.
UFC
Is that what
legends.
you're feeling?
No,
Okay.
he thinks they're going to end up in the hospital afterwards. Like they shouldn't be in the ring.
Really?
DeFear Harris
They're the real
and
names
Kevin
of
Ferguson
They're the real names
Sr.
of Dada and Kimbo, right? Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
I'm saying the fight is going to be that bad.
That's really bad.
Yeah,
That was
but-
really bad, though.
But those other two guys, I mean, they weren't clean living. Like
No, they
like,
weren't.
They're not.
They
They weren't
weren't.
athletes.
They weren't.
They weren't.
They
They're-
weren't.
That was a-
they're-
And that's fair.
They're
that was a
fair.
weird fight too.
They were
That was like
coked
a.
up going in people's backyards fighting. You know what I mean?
That
Yeah.
that is fair. That is fair.
Who do you have as a who do you have as your pick?
I'm gonna grudgingly take Nate Marquardt.
Oh, so I'm out here alone. Do you have it as a submission?
A
as
split decision.
split decision again? No, you do not have much faith in this night, JK.
No, I don't.
We're gonna hold off on talking about the main event and the co-main event until our next segment. You've been here with Cage Against the Machine. We're here talking about UFC 212. This is Jose Aldo versus Max Blessed Holloway. I'm Josh Shia.
Sweet Imba.
Dr. Jamil Kyle Akins.
DeShawn Davis is giving me zero help right now in all these arguments, and we'll be right back.
This is Tyson Griffin.
Sean Bunch.
Myron the Hitman Smith.
Jordan the Juggernaut Powell.
Mauricio Alonso. Shout out to Cage Against the Machine, MMA Podcast, MMA Fantasy League for you. You Google them right now, because I'm about to Google them.
Oh, boy.
Jose Aldo versus Max Blessed Holloway. We're talking about the co-main event coming up. We have Claudia Gadelha versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz. And, I'm actually looking forward to this fight, man.
Finally a fight worth talking about.
Like, no.
Hallelujah.
No, seriously, man. This is going to be like a barn burner
Haven't they
of
already
a fight.
done this one before?
No, this one hasn't happened. Yeah. They haven't fought yet.
Let's yeah. By the way, Claudia has no nickname, but it should be Claudia. No, I will not go back to the jungle. Good day, yeah. Casey
Okay.
had to remind me that as much as I'm a fan of Joanna, she did make the mistake of saying that she was going to send Claudia back to the jungle.
No, she didn't say that.
Yeah,
She did say
She
that.
did say that, and she never
those
apologized
words?
for it.
Wow.
She
say
did.
that.
She did. So I would like to politic us towards encouraging her on social media to just at least apologize. You won the fight. You said some things in the heat of the battle, but you should walk that one back.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Or
So-
at least slap somebody in front of the retreat. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh. Well, so with this fight, like, we have like Claudia, who is like an amazing like wrestler, brawler.
Yes.
I love watching her fight, except for when she fights Joanna. I don't know like who comes in that ring when she fights Joanna. And the same with like Karolina. So Karolina is like, I don't know, like I really, really like her in terms of, hey man, she's like chill at the end of every single round and at the beginning of every single round. She's like up against the fence, like just kind of like waiting for her time to go in. That's like her thing. And she goes in and she brawls. Yo, I actually don't know if I could like pick who's going to win this. I think that like, if I have to say it, I think Karolina probably edges it out. And the reason why I think that is because Karolina has this like uncanny ability to not stop.
Yeah.
Whereas like Claudia, if you get in Claudia's head, she starts to like fall.
Yeah.
And I think that like with Karolina, there's no getting in her head. She's just going to like be who she is going to be, and she's going to fight her fight. And I think that like in the end, when she faced Joanna, it just wasn't enough at that time, and maybe she didn't know like what it was going to be like, even though it was like their second time going around at this. I got to give this fight to Carolina, and I got to give it to her on decision, and I think it's going to be because she punched and kicked Claudia more than she got hit. I will put a little asterisk in there and say if Claudia does win, it's going to be because she stopped Carolina quick, and she ended her with a stoppage early on and said, I want that belt. And if that happens, then I'm going to say that that's the Claudia that can beat Joanna. So that's my pick. Let's go with J.K. Akins. Who do you have on this glorious fight that actually
Finally.
somewhat redeems, to be honest, somewhat redeems the card?
Finally. But, Ja, you're still following the theme of the evening, which is you don't know how wrong you are. The thing is that Claudia has multiple ways that she can win this fight. I cannot say that about Carolina.
Carolina is like on her feet, decision, she's going to win.
Carolina has to knock Claudia out. She has to.
That's not going to happen. Really?
And that's kind of my point.
Okay.
It's kind of my point.
You're not going to knock out Claudia Gadelha. You're not going to knock her out.
And big ups to Claudia, who has recognized her fundamental flaw in her game. And the first thing she did was train 90% of this fight camp at altitude.
Right. And change your camp.
She did change her camp. However, people, contrary to popular belief, she did not train at the Patriots of Mixed Martial Arts.
No. Where does she? Because she was in Albuquerque, but not there.
Right.
There are other places.
Yes. She took an exclusive training camp.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the gym. I want to say it's called Apex MMA.
Right.
That's my
like a feeder league for
I can't quite remember the fight camp. I'm gonna have to look back into that. But she used that, and she's also used this time for opening her own fight camp in her own mixed martial arts academy in New Jersey.
Right.
Little known fact. So big ups to you, Claudia. This is gonna be a very, very tough fight.
Yes.
There are a couple of things I am concerned about. Concern number one, did Carolina watch the film against Jędrzejczyk? Because if she did, she would know that she would be able to utilize the leg kick almost to a detriment against Claudia. And
that's what stopped like Claudia like the last time.
And if Claudia has watched the film, did she notice that if she is able to get Carolina down, the fight is almost hers from the start? So, the question is, which fighter is going to be able to take advantage of which hole first? If Claudia is able to take advantage of the holes in Carolina's game within the first round, or say the first round and a half, then Claudia will win this fight by submission. If Carolina is able to exploit the holes in Claudia's game, she will win this fight by decision. The question is, which one is going to happen first? And for the complete satisfaction of contradicting you, I am going to go with Claudia Gadelha to win this fight by submission early in the second round.
Submission early in the second round?
Yes.
Okay. You probably also want all Starks to be killed. Let me go with Brett Sweet. Do you have anything on this one? Can you please put some sort of sense into this?
This is not to contradict either of you, although I do take enjoyment in that this is going to be a draw.
A draw.
Yep.
Oh man.
Why would you say that?
Poland's on a roll. right?
So Joanna's like on a tear.
It's gonna be in Brazil.
What's his name? Lost though. Who's that? Like one Polish fighter that was like.
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, so like only one
But
matters.
Joanna, the Bullet, Polish women are on a tear right now.
Yeah. Bullet's not from Poland.
Where's she from?
She's from
She is from Russia.
Is she from Russia or one of the stands?
She is actually from Russia.
She's
Got
okay.
It. Got it. Okay.
But she spends a lot
I
of her
thought she
time
was like
in Peru.
from a stand or something.
No,
like,
no, she is from Russia.
But she's like, and also her sister's like,
Yes,
is Peruvian and everything.
the Valentina sisters are both from Russia.
They're both from Russia.
But they
Okay.
spend a lot of time in Peru.
Right. Poland's still on a tear.
Yeah.
Claudia, it's an interesting case. One would say that fight is supposed to be the comeback of Nova and Now, right? The concern is she's been training everywhere but that place.
Yeah.
She has just been doing that for the simple fact of working on her cardio. She did not feel that, obviously, with much of Brazil actually being below sea level,
Right.
Yeah.
it was going to help her game any. And she didn't want to train with Jackson's MMA. So,
Yeah.
Right.
And she also did not want to train, obviously, with the guys over at Denver. So,
Right.
which I really think she could have benefited from was training at 303 training in Denver with none other than the thug, Rose Namajunas.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But she...
You wouldn't send her to Dwayne Bang's school?
No.
I would not. I would
do
not.
think. Look,
Only
I
because...
hate Dwayne, but I do think that he's kind of like a bit of a genius when it comes to like.
absolutely.
Like,
but
he's
the
a striking
reason why
genius,
the reason
you know?
why I wouldn't
Yeah.
how
is
can you
because
hate
at
him?
303, if she would have trained at 303, the training would have been more focused on her because it really just would have been her and Rose there.
You say, how can I hate him?
Yeah.
Because like the story of how he came to like Uriah Faber's gym and then like
You actually believe that?
So they say.
I do.
So they say.
He hasn't
Come on,
denied
man.
it.
Come on, man.
Dwayne hasn't denied it. He hasn't denied the whole
Okay,
like.
let me ask you this.
Someone
John.
comes to your gym and starts selling like peanut butter or whatever,
me
like,
ask you
and starts
this.
doing all this stuff, like, and then all of a sudden, like, one of your fighters leaves, like, he hasn't denied it.
Ja, let
Right?
me
You
ask
have
you
to
this.
deny it. It's
Let
like
me
it's a
ask you
free
this.
country. You're not.
We're grown men.
Yeah.
The bottom line is this, Ja. If I come to your gym
Yes.
and I decide,
let's say you
that-
come to my dojo.
And sell peanut butter?
all right, fine.
Yeah, and you're selling peanut butter there. I'm like, dude, get
just
out. Don't
listen.
do that.
Hold on.
No,
Listen.
and
just
get
listen
out.
up. Listen up. If I come to your dojo,
Yeah, my dojo.
And I
He put it in
decide-
quotes. My dojo.
I decide that the best thing for my career is to move on somewhere else to get the one-on-one training that I believe is going to help me reach the pinnacle and the goal that I need to get to. Who are you to tell me not to do it?
Are you
Who are you to tell me
Are you saying TJ?
that I'm a trainer?
You're talking about TJ Dillashaw.
That's exactly who I'm talking
TJ
about.
Dillashaw didn't know how to punch before he went to Alpha Male. Before he met
He
Justin.
learned it.
Before he
learned it from Dwayne Bang.
No, he learned it from Justin Buchholz. He learned it from him. Even he'll say that.
7 whole days.
I'm just saying he learned it from him.
Mr. Sweet, you raise your hand.
So now that we're going to put our male members back in our pants, it's a business. Okay?
And that's all I'm saying.
Uriah
We're grown men.
Faber needed to have some paperwork. He did not have some paperwork. If I'm in the same situation, business, and I have a dojo or a gym,
Oh
you know,
yeah, I would have my paperwork. Yeah,
right? You come by.
Yeah.
But see, Cage Against the Machine has a gym. You come by. You're a great striking coach who has only lost to John Wayne Parr. You come in. Hey, I will give you a salary for 2 years. Here's your non-compete clause. Here's your, it's the details. And we have this, and this is the thing. This is what pisses me off. This is the conversation you guys know that I have with people outside of our podcast all the time. You want to start a business, but you don't want to do the processes, right? And so I think that's what classic case of, what is your vision? What is your goal? Where do you see yourself being in 5 years, Dwayne? Do you want to be in Sacramento for the rest of your life? Do you want to help build an empire? Or what are you going to do? Well, I think I'm going to open my own gym somewhere in Denver. Okay, well, then maybe you should only teach classes on Saturday mornings. You know what I mean? So I think both sides are wrong. But because, and I still claim this, back to Neil deGrasse Tyson, any argument that goes longer than 5 minutes, both sides have lost because you're not listening anymore. I think both were hugely immature, but I don't think that it makes either side bad guys. I think there's some problems at Alpha Male and there's some problems at the Denver and how they handled that because they did not sit down and fundamentally say, what are we in this for?
While I see where you're going, Brett, here's the problem that I have with what you're saying. Is that this is the fight game.
Yes.
And in the fight game, you ultimately do what is best for you.
Sure.
Regardless of how somebody feels that you're some type of traitor. First of all, I'm going to say this plain and clear for everybody to hear. And I'm going to make sure that I do not mix my words at all. So this is going to have to come with a disclaimer. Mm-hmm. Okay? What I am about to say is not the opinion of Cage Against the Machine, but singularly that of Dr. Jamil Kyle Akins. Team Alpha Male, this was a bitch move.
Whoa.
It was a bitch move. Because this is what bitches do. Okay?
I don't think I've ever heard him curse.
And what I mean by that is you do not purposely try to hurt somebody's advancement
It's
in
the
their
reputation
career.
is what you're talking about. It's like
You don't try to,
Yeah.
no matter how you feel about a situation, right?
Yeah.
And Job, we're family.
Yeah.
So I can say this, right?
Yeah, we
I
would-
will never
we
try
would-
to hold back your progression.
Yeah, no, it would always
see
be,
what I'm saying?
Yeah, it would be weird. It would be
And
like
that's
a conversation.
what this was about.
Right? Yeah.
That's what this
But
was
you don't-
about.
But that's my point. You don't have
Jealousy.
to. Not just immaturity.
Okay.
I agree with you. You don't
Okay.
have to worry about those things if you sat down and signed paperwork. It's not deep. We have a gym called Cage Against the Machine. I'm bringing in JK to teach judo. JK, what do you see yourself doing? I'm only going to be here for 2 years. It's not deep.
Right.
It's not deep. He didn't sign
Right.
the paperwork.
Right.
He made it clear to you.
Right.
Let's use another analogy. Hey, I love you. You're great. Let's go get married and have kids. We're just sleeping together. It's not deep. You have to have that conversation. And so I don't think that makes Dwayne Bang a bad guy
Right.
or TJ a snake or whatever. And if he's so much of a snake, why does he keep cleaning the clock of Cody Garbrandt?
Lordy.
Snakes are not team players. There's only one species of snake in the world that hunts together with other snakes. They're not team players.
Just saying.
Okay?
Just saying.
So there's a lot going on there that tells you everything, right? Faber might lead the league, and I think only Tito Ortiz has failed this many times coaching at a tough, right? The point being, the proof is in the pudding. I think it was just a lack of maturity on both sides. But when you start throwing out these titles like Snake and whatever, and part of it, I hate to say it, is part of the drama is selling the show.
It is.
It's more me and Casey talk about this all the time.
It is.
It's the men who are all catty.
Absolutely.
You look at the older dudes who are on the comeback. They're not on that
Big
catty
shout
stuff.
out to Casey because I believe we had this conversation. And
It's
she's
the men who are catty.
100% right.
It's the girls who are like, let me get my career, let me get it on. With the exception of Angela Magana.
But, and that's why I use this as an analogy.
Yeah.
There is a bit of jealousy involved.
Yeah.
There is a bit of jealousy involved because no, I don't think anybody at Alpha Male thought that TJ Dillashaw would grow the way that he has.
Right.
So let's be honest. This is about jealousy.
Of course.
It's about jealousy.
And both ways, right? It's like you could tell he's hurt that he can't still come hang out and whatever. And at the end of the day, the real victim in all this stuff is Dominic Cruz. Like, y'all sat there and put 2 gyms and spammed him against one guy. You know what I mean? Now that's what you reap what you sow. Right? So ultimately, in my opinion, I don't think that Dwayne Bang did anything wrong, but I think both of those guys show a naivety about business of sitting down in the beginning and just saying, where are we going with this? What do we want to do? What are our goals? And putting it in writing.
He also has a history of like discriminating against people of color. But I'm just gonna
Who does?
Dwayne Bang Ludwig.
Does he?
Yes.
I did not know that.
That is like and that's like one thing that everyone's like, oh, we just all like kind of like know that. And Dwayne's like a little racist, but it's like whatever.
It's like whatever.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Really?
there's like all those conversations about
Really?
like Dwayne. Yeah.
Really?
And like I'm like not surprised. Like,
It's
knowing,
not that I'm surprised. It's just that I've never heard these rumblings before, and I got ears everywhere, and
I'm
I've
just
never
saying,
heard this before.
literally everywhere on Reddit, it's everywhere on the internet. Of like,
No, I'm saying
Sure, it's
that I
allegations.
have never
Yeah.
heard this.
I've never been like, look,
I have ears everywhere in the fight game, and
Yeah.
I've never heard this.
well, is it also because like maybe like over at Elevation, how many like he's at Elevation right now, right?
That is correct.
How many people of color are there?
Neil Magny.
Neil Magny is there, but let's be real, like, okay, like Neil Magny, love Neil Magny. Neil Magny is very likable.
We should go back. Oh, there you go. He smells
man.
good.
Oh, man.
Neil Magny is
We should
very
take-
likable.
No, let's.
Oh man, he hit us with the buzzword.
No,
He is
no, you're
very
right.
likable,
You're
though.
right.
Okay?
We are database. Let's spend some time, not on this podcast.
Like, not today?
Let's spend some time and let's look at their roster.
213.
We have access.
213.
We can ask these guys. We can DM. We can figure this out.
213.
Yikes. Yeah. So
Love Neil Magny.
If any of my
He's
sources,
extremely likable, and you know what I'm talking about.
if any
All
of my
right?
sources are listening to this podcast,
White
hey, you know
people
you're
like
about to get
Neil
a file.
Magny.
You know
All
you're
right?
about to get a phone call, right?
White people like Neil Magny because he speaks so well, and he's
And he
such
smells
a,
good, and he smells
and
good.
he's such a good speaker.
But at the
Okay.
same time,
Damn. Then why do I have such a problem?
so let's add another. Let's
What
add
do you
another. Let's add another piece into this. Dwayne Bang kickboxing Muay Thai is part of the On It Academy in Austin, which is co-owned by Joe Rogan. So
I'm
there's
not saying that he doesn't know where to like how to make business happen.
I'm just pointing out that these are also gyms that are hugely diverse.
I'm just
and
saying there has
anti-
been like a lot of
Fair.
talk about him being
Fair.
very like
And John, I'm gonna say
weird
this
about
again.
that.
I mean,
I'm
again,
gonna say this again.
I gotta
I
take it with a
have
grain
never
of-
heard this from any of my sources.
Hey, no,
Okay.
I think we should use the data and be fair.
Let's
and
do
the
it.
flip side is, again, this is Reddit. You know, you ask a question and somebody uses the N
A
word.
lot of, yeah, a lot of,
you know what I mean?
lot of ridiculousness
You're like,
happens
hey,
on
why
Reddit
did you mean
MMA.
like
yeah.
shut up N word? So it's like, okay.
Yeah, a lot of ridiculous happens on like
So,
Reddit
but
MMA.
no,
Sure,
this is great. We should do our own homework and we'll come back to this.
let's do it.
Definitely.
So we have our picks in for the last one. All right.
Boy,
Yeah.
that was.
I know.
brutal.
Barn burner. Can't
That
wait
was
for this
good.
one. So we have Jose Aldo versus Max
Featherweight champion,
versus Max Blessed
the
Holloway
interim champion.
for the undisputed featherweight championship of the world.
Unification.
Okay, so we're like,
How did we get here?
I know how we got here. We got here
Cue the
because
Deborah Cox song.
UFC gave Conor McGregor 6
What
more
just happened?
months.
What just happened?
UFC.
Did you have been
really
told in the House of Elrond
use
you never use
that
orc?
name?
You never speak Orcish or that black tongue here.
I am the Harry Potter over here, and I will say Voldemort when I say Voldemort. Okay, his name is not he who must not be named. You got to like call him and put a face to it, right?
I cannot believe. Hold up. Time out. Let me stop this right here.
Okay.
We do not use that name here at Cage Against the Machine. I have already had to warn our own Mr. Sweet about that
We weren't
name.
on the air.
On air.
We
We
weren't on
were
the
not.
air.
But we do not say that name even off air. Those are the rules.
I'm not that superstitious.
I'm not scared of this person.
Yeah,
I
I
am
know.
not scared of him either. I just refuse to give him any credence at all.
You're saying any airtime or anything on our stuff.
Zero. None. Zilch.
Fair enough.
Why?
Fair enough. UFC gave him 5 months extra time to get into Jose's head. That happened. They were supposed to fight in what? In like July, right? Then some shenanigans happened, and then like they pushed the fight to the end of the year. Jose became it was enough time to get into Jose's head. Jose ran face first into that damn left hand.
Or
Or what? You think he got paid? Are you gonna like? Are you gonna do the Josh Shia thing right now?
you're gonna get a Netflix movie. We're gonna give you a couple mil under the table, and you'll be the champion again. In a
He
couple
ran
years.
face first.
He sure
into that.
did. But
Why did he do that?
But we also need
and he
to put that in
telegraphed.
context.
He telegraphed from the weigh-ins.
Do you remember?
We also need to put this in context because it just so happens that the Irishman's fist caught him before his fist caught the Irishman's. Because
they both hit each other, right?
Yes.
They both hit each other, but like the Irishman like
But
caught
let's
him.
put it in
before.
context. Everybody in this room who fights knew what his opening attack was going to be. From the
Who,
weigh-ins.
Jose's or
Yes.
like?
Yes.
Well, I
shouldn't
will
have-
say
we shouldn't
it
have.
was very uncharacteristic.
I didn't know. I was shocked.
It was
no.
very
We
uncharacteristic.
were all in the room together.
That was clear. You
I
can
remember
look
that.
At, no, you can look at the weigh-ins.
That was the worst night I have had in like MMA.
No,
Like,
there's worse. Remember, I don't want to bring it up, but there's worse.
yeah. I would say this for me was worse than that.
I had brownies that night. I was good.
Yeah, we were all in the room together, and I remember that. That was the worst night, you know. And then I looked to JK and I said, you know what? This is a stupid sport for stupid people, and I left the room.
That was not worse than Chad Mendez just handing it over.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other thing.
Yeah, there's the leg. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
the leg.
there's
Yeah,
terrible
yeah,
ones.
it's the leg. Yeah, that was
Chad
pretty
Mendez
horrible.
There's pretty horrible moments.
Yeah, that was pretty horrible.
I mean, I'm not trying to take shots at 3000 Broadway, but some of my worst MMA
Hey,
nights.
do not take shots at the place that no longer exists.
JK, you have so many rules.
Right.
There's so many rules. and
That's
it's
why
like
he needs
hard
to be a
know-
ref, man. He's
Yeah, you're like this minefield of like stuff that like
Right.
I can't talk about this, can't
Well,
talk about that.
hold on,
dogmatic.
hold on.
And now I
First
can't
of
talk
all,
about minefield. Can't
first
say
of all-
bomb in Cage Against the Machine.
First of all, the rule against the Irishman has been well established. That you already knew.
That is
Tell
true.
me you didn't.
That is
I
true.
never signed a document that said I can't say that. I never signed a document. Did I sign a
guy.
document? There's
This
like,
guy.
you know, that's the thing, right?
Sweet Imba, have nothing to say to that. He is absolutely right. We never sat down and talked about goals and vocabulary.
Since when do we have to? Since when?
beginning.
We are family. Since when?
This is not Cage with the machine. This is not Cage for the machine. This is Cage against the machine.
Meaning you are against the status quo. So signing papers to talk about whether or not we're going to call a particular fighter by his name is with the machine. That's not against.
Unless the status quo is dysfunction.
Don't you think that like this makes us talk about him a little bit more than like would have had
I'm
it?
still not saying his
Can
name.
we just talk about how he telegraphed that he was going to punch that hand, and that's what he did, and he didn't throw a leg kick, which he should have thrown the leg kick. He should have thrown the damn leg kicks. Should have been leg kicks. What? Leg kicks. Hey, anyone heard of him? Jose Aldo, you build a career on leg kicks.
Jose.
Anyways, his mama named him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay.
His mama named him Jose.
So
Speaking of which, I did watch that documentary, or that movie.
it's a movie, right? It's
Did
like
you watch
a-
that? It's great.
I saw it.
It's great.
Netflix really thinks I want to watch that.
Yeah, it's great. It's good. It is good. It's confusing until the last 15 minutes. And then you get it. It's like the prestige of MMA. It's got a switch ending. It's really hard to get. And then you also understand from that story, you understand why the nameless one was in his head.
You're like that's
Because
that's
he
what
was
it takes.
raised. I don't even want to give this away too much, but he was raised with the ethic and trained with the ethic to be anti that his whole life. That's what made him successful. And he struggled. He could have, let's put it this way, Aldo could have been the nameless one of Brazil if he had gone down the wrong path.
Yeah. Well, so we have this fight.
Yes.
And this is this like fight that like, you know,
It's unfortunate.
This is unfortunate because
you like both of them.
yeah, but you know what? Like, I've been liking a lot of people. Like,
You
look,
gotta like him, JK.
look, 211.
Even if you don't think he's gonna win, do you dislike Aldo? Do you
do
dislike?
you dislike Aldo?
Do you dislike? No, he loves Aldo. Aldo's his guy.
Do you dislike Holloway?
Do you dislike Holloway? Do you think he's
Do you dislike
Right. So you gotta love him.
Do you not like MMA?
He hates him, man.
He hates MMA.
Oh, with a passion.
Yeah, he's here, right?
Breathe. Biscuit
No,
bag
seriously,
for
like
jam.
no. No, I want to hear that. I want to hear.
What is that face?
So everybody knows that I particularly believe that Jose Aldo is one of the greatest mixed martial artists ever to grace the planet.
You would not be
I
wrong.
don't know.
And it's not an opinion. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
The phrase is one of the greatest. Absolutely. He's in the canon. Yes.
I personally believe that Jose Aldo is the greatest 145 pounder ever to grace mixed martial arts.
Okay.
And that, in my opinion, is backed by him being the champion of the featherweight division for 7 years.
Agreed. and
going 10 years without being defeated.
Right, and not fighting tomato cans.
Exactly. Fighting the cream of the crop the whole way through.
And fighting wrestlers.
And this is documented. You guys have also heard me say that I believe that that at some point Max Holloway will be the champion, and that it is inevitable and it will happen.
Right. Is it going to happen on June 3rd, though?
It will not.
Got it.
I believe that Jose Aldo will win this fight in a 5-round dismantling. I personally do not believe that Max Holloway has what it takes to actually beat Jose Aldo. With that said, Max Holloway will eventually be the champion. But that will happen when Jose Aldo does one of two things. Retires or moves to 155.
That's interesting. I didn't have my pick until just now. It's Jose Aldo. And I'll tell you why. It's not just because you're picking... You know what? Like, honestly, like, I didn't have my pick until... Actually, no. I didn't have my pick until just now. It's not just because you picked Jose Aldo. I don't know. It's like, I kind of agree with you. I think that, like, Max Holloway did this, like, flurry on, like, Pettis in, like, his last one, right? I just don't see... And that's, like, what I've seen happen on a lot of Max Holloway's fights. I don't see that happening on Jose Aldo. If I see that happening on Jose Aldo needs to, like, not fight anymore. I got to go with Jose on this one. I didn't think about that until, like, just now. I was prepared to say that Max Holloway was taking this. I'm going, what is it? Jose Aldo is going to win this fight, and I think he's going to win based upon, like, a decision. I think it's going to be very, very clear. The decision is going to be clear. I think the judges are going to put it, what do you think, like 49-46?
I think this fight will be eerily similar to Jose Aldo's fight against Frankie
Edgar. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Frankie,
I think it's going to be worse.
Whoa. Okay. So who are you saying?
I think he's going to detool Max Holloway and evade him for 3 rounds. On the 4th round, Max Holloway is going to do one of those flurries and get really frustrated.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
And then by the 5th round, he's going to finish. Aldo will knock him out. Okay. Aldo will probably fight 2 more times, go up to 155, take out Sauron, and retire.
I mean, you're describing a world where impeachment happens, but I'm not sure.
I word.
Are we not saying so many rules at Cage Against the Machine now? What happened?
I'm not gonna say anything about that at all.
Well, so many rules. Rules. You're describing a world where, like, impeachment is on the table.
Is that a better alternative? Have you looked at that list?
No, it's not. That's the problem.
Have you looked at the list?
Have you looked at the list?
That was like,
seen the lineup.
Do you remember that one Dave Chappelle skit where he said, like, you know, he would, like, run for president, be the first black president, and then his running mate would be Mexican?
Yeah.
Because he's like, you're not going to kill me because, like, you have this alternative. I think that's what happened. I think he just set up, like, a worse alternative than himself, and then...
Well, you know, there's a clause for that in politics.
What is it?
The Dan Quayle clause.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's someone worse there, right? Oh, geez. Anyways, so we're all kind of, like, saying Aldo on this one, and we all love... I'm speaking for...
Again, I will say this.
Yeah.
That Max Holloway will eventually be the 145-pound champion. It just will not be on June 3rd.
Is it kind of like how you remember that one Samurai Jack episode where, like, he goes to the portal and there's that one guy there that's, like, badder than Jack, and then that guy was about to kill Jack, and then he's like, oh, like, you know, and the portal spoke to that guy and was like, you're just not ready yet. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, I guess Jose Aldo is like Max Holloway's portal.
Now, here's the interesting thing that I would like to point out to everybody. For those of you who are listening, watching us live, one of the things, if you are not familiar with Jose Aldo, one of the things that you guys need to know about Jose is he has been doing this for a very long time, but he's only 29.
That's crazy. That's insane. Right. That's crazy. Really?
He's only 29.
Wow.
He is still
Jeez,
in his
man.
fighting prime.
And you have to remember that a lot of his stuff is self-taught. That he didn't really get tuned up until he met Dada and all that stuff. But a lot of that stuff was him picking up, him having that mind where he can self-educate and turn street fighting into, well, I'll figure that out.
He moved to Rio de Janeiro on his own when he was 17 years old and literally slept on the mats at Nova Vinhão.
Yep.
And that's like, where he met like Claudia. That's where he met Hennenbrow, like there.
Junior
too.
Dos Santos.
Jeez, man, all those
They're
guys.
all in the movie, man. I'm telling you, it's great.
Wow.
And you got to know that mat has to be smelly.
Right.
Sure, but like you don't really care like it. That like I remember training in Brazil and like what it was like, and kind of like what like this is a little gross, but like you kind of don't care how like much you reek of training all the time
Because you're training.
and
That's why I was talking about the mat.
yeah, it's like it's like kind of like yeah, but you're right. That place smelled.
It probably, yeah.
It definitely did.
Yeah.
But like you kind of like didn't care, and like you were training like 8-10 hours a day, and then like you go out and you hang out with your training partners, and then like you go home and you like pass out, and then you wake up at 6 a.m. and you do the whole thing all over again. Like
Same as Thailand, New Zealand. I mean, at the same, also it's like you don't want to be the pink glove. You know what I mean?
You went there.
Yeah, I have to.
You
don't,
went
You don't want
there.
to be the pink
You
glove.
went there.
You have to be. You know what the pink glove is, DeShawn?
I do not know what the pink
The
glove
guy
is.
the guy who comes to the gym and he's got pink gloves. He's got
You
all.
went
He's got the
there.
MMA hat. He's got
You
all the
went
gear.
there.
Right. He can't get through the workout. He
Oh
can
my
barely
gosh.
go through the.
Does
you know what I mean?
every gym have one of those
yes,
guys?
Yes, that's the pink glove. They're all and they're universal.
Oh,
I've
man.
talked. All my training partners have been around the world, and there's pink gloves, right? And so it's that principle. It's like you want to go there and know, at least for yourself, for the time that people are investing in you, you gave it your all so that they don't waste their time. And the only way to prove that is that disgusting knowledge of the sweat coming out of your nostrils onto the mat, looking down at the mat, and you're like, I smell. This is disgusting. I want to take a shower, wipe myself, but we got to do another round. You either do it or you
we've all
don't.
been there. We've all been there.
That's the character of this stuff. You either
We've
gonna,
all
you're gonna do
been
the work
there.
or you're not, right? And that's the beauty. You can only prove that. I think the only other place I've ever seen that is like Bikram yoga, right? Like you can't front. You just look over and that's your water on the ground, and it stinks because of you. And the
So
person
gross.
next to you stinks, but you did the work.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. That's the fun part of it. And that's
Man,
the stuff you
we've
can't
all
take away.
been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
So I think we have our picks in for this one. You've been here with Cage Against Machine. We've been talking about UFC 212.
Yeah.
You know how we do. Once again, we will be at the bar. You guys can like come and watch the fights with us.
We're upstairs.
We're upstairs.
We're upstairs.
We've
We're
got moved upstairs.
We got moved
Oh, we
upstairs.
moving on up.
Yeah. To the-
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It is.
Really?
Yes. You'll see.
Okay. So we'll be at Legionnaire in the upstairs.
2272 Telegraph Avenue,
Dude,
Oakland, California.
Oakland, California.
if you want the promo code, look on our website.
No more promo codes right now.
No more promo codes. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Because but our audience hasn't shown up in mass, so no promo
Please
codes.
show up more so we can like have our promo code.
Yep.
But it's still a great place to watch the fights. You've been here with us. We've been talking about UFC 212, Jose Aldo versus Max Blessed Holloway. I'm Josh Shia.
Sweet NBA.
The diabolical one.
DeShawn Davis is also in the room providing us with these sweet, amazing, melodious sounds. If you like the sounds, holla at Jamir. And thank you for listening. You've been here and we've been appreciating it. Thank you.
We made it this far because of you, and we need more. If you tuned into Cage Against the Machine podcast via iTunes, we need you to act. Follow us on iTunes, rate us, comment, share with your friends, and post this podcast to your social media. Thank you.